Welcome to the DL Boxing Podcast. I am your host, Coach D, along with my co-host, neighborhood hero Ryan Rios, and Bad Chaz, where we talk about the sport you and I love, boxing. All right, guys, welcome back.
Yeah, hey, what's up, man?
How you guys doing?
Great, man.
Great. Feeling good?
Good. How about you?
I'm feeling great. I'm excited. I'm stoked.
Yeah.
Because we have another special guest. Ladies and gentlemen, from Guerrero, Mexico, working out of the Zoom corner, Jose Benavidez Sr.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for the invitation, man. Super glad to be here with you guys. Super excited. And, you know, sky's the limit, man. We're super motivated to bring you good fights, and we're blessed. We're blessed to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
Perfect. You're so welcome, Coach. Thank you again for coming on.
Yeah, thank you.
We're so stoked to have you on. So let's begin, if you don't mind. Let's start from the beginning, Coach. Of course, as a father of two world-class champion boxers, at one point, Benavidez Sr. had to encounter boxing. Tell us, our viewers, how did Benavidez Sr. find boxing?
Well, you know, the thing starts, man. You know, I grew up in Mexico. My mother and father were separated when I was 2 years old. They left me over there with my grandparents. Were very old. So I had to struggle. I had to work. I had to suffer and work very hard, you know. Every memory that I have when I was young, man, it's not bad. It's very bad. I don't remember having a good memory. I came to the United States when I was 11 years old. So pretty much I've been on my own my whole life. I had no education. I went to second grade. I always worked, and I've been educating myself through life, you know. So I thought, you know, when I have my kids, you know, I'm going to support them. I'm going to tell them that I love them, and I'm going to be there as much as I can and guide them to get to their goals. And that's exactly what I've been doing, you know. I remember Junior was 1 year old. He was the first one, and I just put him in little different sports. And when he was 5 or 6 years old, now he could do more sports, and I put him in boxing. And it felt good, and he really liked boxing, and we stuck with boxing. And since then, you know, we've been making history. It was super hard, very tough, and that's what everything starts. You know, when I put him in boxing, I fell in love with it. I felt very passionate about it, and I had to do my research. I had to work very hard and do my homework. And to this day, I'm super motivated, and I try to learn every day that goes by.
Yeah. That's amazing, amazing. And were your sons reluctant about the sport of boxing at first? Because I myself have kids, but yet I teach them, you know, I taught them the sport, but yet they didn't fall in love with it. How was it that they fell in love with it? Was it because of your you know, your dedication to them and telling them, hey, you know, this is the way that you know, you're good at this?
It's funny because I get people get a little bit confused that they fell in love with it. They fell in love with it for like about 2-3 days because they thought it was fun. But after that, it was work, and then they hated it. But then, you know, they had no choice. We had to stay there. To be honest with you, they didn't like boxing. It was a lot of hard work. And, you know, for a kid with 5, 6 years old, it was a lot of work, a lot of sit-ups, a lot of running, a lot of exercises. Yeah. And I was molested. I was abused. I went through a lot of shit, man. So one day I thought, you know, I'm going to make my kids strong, man, because if for some reason something happens to me, man, I don't want for people to take advantage of them. And you know what? I'm just going to make them hard. I'm going to make them animals, and I'm going to make them strong. And that's what was in my mind. I think that was my fundamentals, my base of me thinking I'm going to die. I'm going to make them strong before that happens. And that's what happened. They just become super strong. They broke a lot of records. But I never thought they were going to be competing in amateur or as a professionals. I never thought about that. I thought about making them very strong. That's what I was thinking my whole life.
Well done, Coach. You did a magnificent job with them. I applaud you. It is very difficult, and like you just shared with us, that is a hardship to deal with. Very well. Thank you, Coach, for explaining to us all, the hardships of it is, to bring up world-class boxers. Coach, co-host Bad Chaz, do you have any questions for Coach Benavidez Sr.?
Yeah. Thank you for sharing your story with us, man. That's very respected. So I'm just going to ask you, about Canelo, you know, taking his time off, taking his little vacation, and kind of retracting his statement about fighting Mexican fighters and stuff. How are you guys going to capitalize on this moment this next year, you know, potentially that you guys have? Are you guys going to target anybody specifically? What's the game plan?
You know, to be honest with you, man, you know, I respect everybody. You know, I don't care about Canelo. I don't care about Charlo. I don't care about all these fighters. What I care about, me being together with my sons and my fighters, you know. You know, every fight is a very dangerous fight. We train very hard. We train to give the people good fights. We're not scared of nobody. We're ready to fight anybody. And that's how I think. You know, we're warriors. We're fighters. And, you know, I'm blessed to have a team that is not afraid of nobody. I think Canelo is the best pound for pound at 168. He's the king of boxing. And we want to fight that king. You know, we want to compete with them to see where our limits are at. We don't think that we're better than nobody, but we believe in our hard work. People are going to have to fight them because at the end of the day, I mean, either they leave the belts or they're going to have to fight, because David fought for the eliminator. Now he's the interim champion at 168. So they're going to have to fight. They're going to have to fight sooner or later.
Sooner or later, yeah, he can't. So do you guys have anybody in mind in the meantime to where whenever that time does come that there's no avoiding your son? Because it seems like everybody's kind of a little hesitant to take that fight because your son offers more risk to these fighters than a reward because of what he has in the ring.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. We're not desperate. You know, David's only 25 years old. I feel great that everybody's scared of him. Even Mike Tyson called him the Mexican monster, you know.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm enjoying every minute of it, you know, because I think we're doing a great job and we're working hard. We give the people what they want. And that's the reason they don't want to fight him. You know, if I was maybe Eddie Reynoso or on Canelo's team, I would never put him with David because David would destroy him, you know. Canelo's been fighting since he was 15 years old. He's super dedicated, very disciplined, but the fighters leave everything when they train in their training camp. You know, they wear out. You know, he's been fighting since he was 15 years old. He's 32, 33, somewhere around there now.
Yep.
He had a lot of fights. He has a lot of miles, man. The body is not responding the same. And we're all going to get to that point. And I can see that right now. He's fading. You know, he's wearing out. So I think David, I can tell you right now that David will stop him in 7, 8 rounds because the body doesn't want to go anymore. Now he's getting injured. He didn't look good against B-Ball. He lost to B-Ball. He was not the same. He fought a 40-year-old Triple G that power is not there anymore. The speed is not there anymore, you know? So that's what I'm saying. You know, I think is the beginning of his career, you know, ending his career. The body is just not there no more, you know? So I think we're going to have a new champion at 168 pretty soon.
Do you think that you guys are going to have any problems making these fights with Caleb Plant or the Charlo in the meantime of getting to Canelo?
No, not at all. You know, they've been running. They've been avoiding David. It gets to a time, you know, that people are now demanding those fights, you know. Now you heard Plant also in his interview says that, you know, he's fighting David after what's his name? Anthony Durrell. Right. You know, hopefully he keeps his word and he fights David because we definitely want to fight him. You know, he's a good fighter, very smart fighter, very slick fighter. And he's still young, but we definitely want that fight. It's a very dangerous fight for us, but we definitely want that fight. I think it's going to happen. He has no choice. Who's he going to fight? You know, who are these guys going to fight?
Yeah.
People already want to see those fights.
They can only run for so long.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure it's going to happen. January, February, it's going to happen.
Awesome, man. I'm going to turn it over to my partner here to ask you some questions now.
Good question, Bad Chaz. Coach, you have a great stable going on right now. Not only did you coach 2 world champions, but you have Rio, you have Pacheco. You also are training Pacheco's brother, who's a heavyweight. Are you training them to be savages like your sons also, or is there something you're doing different with these guys?
Where are you guys located at?
Central California.
I was going to say, right now he's sparring the Cuban Flash at the Goosens. I don't know how far would that be, man, if you guys have a chance.
Yeah, about 2.5 hours. Yeah, we're not too far from there.
Go see it for yourselves. He's fighting him, and he's fighting some other left. I heard he's fighting another Cuban that's left-hander. And man, we went there. I told Goosen, hey, you're gonna like this kid. He's only 18 years old, but I'm pretty sure you're gonna like him. He fell in love with the man. So he kept him for his training camp. I had to leave, so I left him over there with some other coaches, and he's doing awesome, man. They love him. He comes forward. He's not afraid of nothing. He's using that jab, sitting on his punches, and that kid, Diego Pacheco, his name is Federico Pacheco.
Oh, wow.
Okay. He's hungry, man. He reminds me a lot of David. A lot. His thing is only boxing. He eats boxing. He sleeps boxing. And I could definitely tell you right now, you're going to be hearing a lot from Federico Pacheco.
Federico Pacheco, very well.
Also, Coach, some people are calling you an inspirational leader just from your story, and just you guys are the new face of boxing. Your name is huge in boxing right now. Do you have any other plans of doing like any promotional stuff or being a manager? Or are you just sticking to coaching?
You know what? I'm going to tell you right now, man. I didn't know nothing about boxing. I didn't even know until I was like 26 years old, somewhere around there. I didn't even know what a jab was, really. I used to watch Julio Cesar Chavez fights only to get drunk with my friends, and I want to see somebody get knocked out. But I didn't know about technique. I didn't really know nothing about. I just want to see blood. I just want to see somebody getting knocked out, But a lot of people don't know. I started from nothing, man, from nothing. I dedicated myself. I fell in love with boxing. I felt obsessed with boxing. I had to work super hard, in order for me to learn the jab, to learn how to sit on the punches, to learn about defense and footwork and all that. A lot of people don't know. I took my sons from nothing to Junior was in the Olympic Center. He was representing the United States and Mexico, and I had no help from nobody. When he signed at 17 with Top Rank, I was his manager, but I was asking a lot of questions, and I was every manager I would ask, hey, how do you do this? How do you do that? So I managed. I did his contracts with Top Rank, and then I always thought, if I could see a better trainer than me, go right ahead. I would definitely get him. If I see a better manager than me, I would definitely try to hire them so they can make more money. But and what the value is what they have, So thank God, I'm still learning, and I'm a very good student, So, but yeah, I've been training them and managing them and doing all this. And in the future, what I think about doing, the most important thing for me, I don't care about the titles. I don't care about the money. What I care, it's about having good kids, man, being good and giving back to the community, man. And every time to me, every time I hear that, hey, man, Dave is really cool, man. He's very, 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 and a very good person. To me, that means a lot, and that's what I want to do. In the future, my story can help other fighters and managers and promoters, so I could guide them and kind of tell them what to do. I would be happy to, and that's something I want to do, and I'm thankful with God, and I would definitely like to help other people and maybe give seminars, how to bring your fighters up or how to assign them with promotions and all that companies.
Yeah. 100%, Coach. What are your thoughts of some of today's generation of fighters who are downplaying the significance of winning a world title, saying things like belts don't matter? Do you think this is their way of ducking fights for certain fighters, Coach?
To be honest, man, I'm a little confused myself, man. I think a warrior should fight anybody. A champion should fight anybody that deserves an opportunity. We'll fight anybody, if the commission allows it or the network allows, that fighter. Because sometimes, for example, a network would want you to fight somebody that people are interested in fighting, So sometimes they don't approve of it. So as long as they approve, whoever, we'll fight anybody. We'll give anybody an opportunity, I believe that in order to make history and to be the best, you got to fight anybody, not just Mexicans or Afro-Americans or white or whatever. It doesn't matter. When you're a warrior, when you're a champion should fight everybody.
I totally agree. Yeah, and those bouts to me, they still mean something. As a hardcore boxing fan, if you got the belts, you're the man, right, in the division.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, now these days, people just want to focus on money, maybe, and some fighters don't want to lose their undefeated records. They take care of that a lot, But a loss doesn't mean anything, When you give the people good fights and, you leave your heart inside the ring, it doesn't really matter, A lot of great champions made history with losses. Pacquiao had losses.
Yeah.
A lot of fighters had a lot of losses, and they still made history and became really good fighters.
I totally agree. No shame in losses. And that's how you become memorable, in my opinion, Coach, fighting the fights, defending against anybody. Yeah.
And that's also what I believe, We work hard, let's give it everything we got right now and let's see how long we can sustain that and try to make history.
100%. Yep. Neighborhood hero Ryan Rios, do you have another question for Coach?
You know what, Coach, again, you're just like an inspirational leader. Like I said, people are calling you, honestly, people want you to do a movie. I don't know if you've heard that before, but they were a lot of people, a lot of interviews that I come across where you're in them. They're asking you like, hey, they should make a movie on your life. But my question is, if they had a movie on you, what actor would you like to have playing you?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, this week I had a couple of calls that people are interested in making trailers for Netflix and actually writing a book also. I'll do whatever people want me to do if it's going to motivate other people. But to be honest with you, man, I feel that we haven't done anything, man. We're barely touching the surface. We're going to continue working hard. And, I believe that the right time will come, when everything's over, then you can write your story. But now, I feel that I haven't done anything, man. I just love what I do. We're working hard, and we still have a long way to go, man. So we're going to continue sacrificing and staying disciplined and dedicated and see what the future holds. To be honest with you, man, I don't watch TV. I don't watch movies. I couldn't even tell you an actor, that would play, to be honest with you. But any actor would be good, to be honest with you. I just focus on boxing. All I know is boxing, and that's about it, man. I hardly watch TV, man.
Great answer, Coach. And if I had an actor to play you, it'd be Richard Cabral. Yeah, he reminds me of you.
I would like to see who he is.
Okay. Watch the episode and we'll show a clip, sir.
Yeah.
Definitely. That would be great.
All right, Coach. So this last segment, we're going to just ask you some fun questions, right, to lighten things up now, if you don't mind. Bad Chaz.
All right. Coach, what do you do outside of the ring, or what do you do for an outlet to take your mind away from the sport for a little bit?
All I do is boxing, man. To be honest with you, I have a 9-year-old little girl, my wife, and they're always complaining because they want to go on a trip, they want to go on a vacation for 2-3 days. I end up canceling everything, It's really hard for me, man. I got Diego, I got Rayo, I got Junior, I got David, now Federico Pacheco, and then I have some other fighters, man. And it's very hard, for me to leave work. Even though when I leave for a little bit, I'm still at work. People are calling me and doing all that. It's super difficult, Sometimes, I think about myself, like, man, it's really hard, It's very hard for me to have a balance with my family and work boxing, I try to do the best that I can, but it's very difficult. People think that I live a great life and it's all that, but at the end of the day, I hate losing, so I stay focused on winning so I can give my family a better life, and hopefully they understand, we come from nothing, man. Thank God we're in a good position, and I just want to provide for my family. That's the most important thing for me, to provide and not let them struggle like I struggle. And I'm just trying to have a balance, with all that, but it's very difficult.
Awesome. Well, thank you for answering my question, Coach, and thank you for taking this interview when I contacted you. Thank you for calling me back. And yeah, man, you're doing something right. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to applaud you for that. And Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. We're
guys.
trying, bro. We're trying our best that we can, In this business, there's no guidance. There's no books to read how to be better, and I'm learning as I go. Hopefully, when everything's done, definitely I could write something down for people to make their lives a little bit easier.
Absolutely.
Hey, Coach, lastly from Rios, when you're outside of your stable, what fighters are exciting to you? What fighters do you like watching?
There's a lot of fighters, man. I love Tank Davis. I like Ryan Garcia, Teofimo Lopez, Dave Haney, all these new fighters, Turdo Ramirez, Bibol, Beterbiev, Canelo, Triple G. I mean, all these fighters that are making a lot of noise, like Chaz Crawford, also Earl Spence. I mean, pretty much what's happening right now, or the new upcomers. I don't miss a fight, man. Man, when I'm on trips or something, I'm always on my phone watching the fights, man. So it's like an addiction, But
Yeah.
But all these fighters, man, all the fights are good, man. To me, all of them are exciting. All of them, there's a lot I can learn from.
Yeah, same here. We're the same way. We don't
Same
miss
way,
a
Coach.
fight.
Yep.
We have to watch them all, and it's like an addiction, like you said, man. Like, we don't miss any of them.
Yeah. All right. And lastly, Coach D here, Coach. I'm going to give you another fun question. I'm going to make you think a little bit. Okay. So my question to you is, if you could Frankenstein the perfect fighter with the attributes of a present or past fighter, who would you choose? So I'm going to give you 5 attributes, Coach. Number 1, speed. Who would you pick for speed?
For speed, yeah, man, that's a little bit complicated, but I would speed. The first thing that comes to my mind, Oscar De La Hoya.
Nice. Number 2, power.
Power, Mike Tyson.
Another good
Nice.
answer.
Number 3, footwork.
Shoot, that's maybe Lomachenko.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice.
Nice. Number 4, ring IQ.
Ring IQ, man. Oh shit, that's a good one. Man, all these good fighters they have a good IQ.
Yeah.
I would have to go with, believe it or not, one of the best fighters that I always like, and David and Junior like a lot. I'm gonna have to go with Nassim Hamed because he was very unpredictable, very crazy.
Nice.
Nice answer, Coach. And the last attribute we cannot forget, right? Chin.
Chin.
I gotta take that punch.
I will have to go with Julio Cesar Chavez.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
I had a feeling you would say that, Coach. That was a bad dude.
That's cool.
Yeah. All right, Coach. Well, thank you so much for joining the DL Boxing Podcast. We appreciate your time. Being so gracious with your time with us. Super cool to hear everything. Spread the knowledge. Like you said, if it could, inspire people, that's what it's all about, right? Helping each other out and being an inspiration to others, Coach.
Of course. I want to thank you guys for the opportunity. Actually, I really like this interview because you guys took me back, from the beginning. Sometimes I forget, how did everything started? I mean, time goes so fast, and you guys made me remember a lot of good things, and that's good for me because it's good to remember and think about my family and think about the things that I can do better. So thank you guys so much for this interview.
100%. Thank you so much, Coach, and you have a great night.
Thank you very much, Coach. Nice talking to you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right, guys, it's time to recap the fights that happened last weekend. Let's start off with the ESPN card that was actually on a Friday night, man. It actually caught you by surprise. I'm like,
Yeah.
Friday night. We got some fights on Friday night. First fight that I want to touch on is the prospect Keyshawn Davis. He scored a TKO in round number 5 over Omar Tienda. Bad Chaz, how'd you see that, man?
You know what? Watching that fight, Keyshawn Davis versus Omar Tienda, the first round, it kind of started off a little busy. It seemed by like the second round, Keyshawn started dictating that fight. He started, doing a little bit of everything, like good defense, fighting, walking backwards, kind of using the ring to his advantage. He demonstrated really good power. He demonstrated really good shot placement, kind of coming around the high guard of Omar with some nice hooks landing to the side of the head of Omar. And then he kind of took his coach's advice, and then he kind of slowly let Omar start coming to him, and then just landed the right punch, and then just from there, he took him down round 5.
Yeah, he really dictated the fight with that jab, and kind of controlled Tienda at all times, and kind of did whatever he wanted to do with them. Yeah, because he was he's that good right now. It was a good win.
Yeah, I think he's a prospect still. He has just the 6 fights under his belt, but he has a lot of good attributes for a prospect fighter that you look for. I think he showed great feet. I think he showed great defense. I think he showed great power. Next, I just kind of want to see him test his chin, to get in the ring with somebody with a little more power and kind of see how he handles getting up off the canvas. And then I think then he'll have all of the above.
Well said. Well said. Also on that card, we had Shakur Stevenson losing his 2 belts on the scale, coming in 1.5 pounds or 1.6 pound over the weight limit. So he lost his titles on the scale. He took on Robson Conceicao. The only person that could win the belts was Conceicao. He, as much as he tried, he couldn't. Stevenson picked up a well-earned unanimous decision. Neighborhood hero Ryan Rios, how'd you see that fight, man?
You know what? I know a lot of people were saying that Shakur came in not disciplined. He should have made the weight. But, I mean, his body's just changing. It's evolving. He's getting bigger. He's getting into that grown man body. And sometimes you don't have control. Your body just does what it wants to do sometimes. You know what I mean? So as far as him being disciplined, you guys all know he's disciplined. You know what I mean? He's a special fighter. I mean, in my book, he's amazing, man. And I feel like he keeps getting better. You know what I mean? Robson isn't just some, pushover. He's an Olympian. He has the same pedigree as pretty much Shakur does. But I just felt like Shakur, just put on a masterclass show. You know what I mean? He was able to, stand even toe-to-toe and just pretty much dissect him. You know what I mean? Robson just had nothing for him. You know what I mean? The power wasn't there. The speed wasn't there. The timing wasn't there. And Shakur just dominated that fight. Just a special guy, man. And he keeps getting better and better. Doesn't matter who he faces. He's just so smart. You know what I mean? And he just adapts on the fly. You know what I mean? So I felt like even though he lost his bouts on the scale, to me, he's still that special fighter, man. He's just going to keep getting better and better.
With Shakur, he's like a boxer, but he has like this aggressive boxer style that still comes forward. Like it's like a really nice finesse to watch because most of the time when you get a boxer, they're using this to their advantage to kind of, be strategic defensively. And that he kind of uses it as a way in a way, like the way he inches his way in, and he still uses that to his advantage. And it's just not something you don't really see right now. And I think that he's very special.
Yeah, I agree.
Super special, man.
Awesome, guys. The next day, Saturday, last weekend, we had 2 big fights, actually. We had the return of Amanda Serrano. She took on Sarah Mahfoud. She earned a hard-fought unanimous decision and becoming unified champion at 126 pounds. Neighborhood hero Ryan Rios, how'd you see Amanda in that fight, man?
You know what? Again, she's just another special, fighter. I felt that for Sarah, it was a win-win for her. You know what I mean? She stepped in the likes with one of the best, right now, maybe even one of the best of all time. You know what I mean? And, people now know her. They're probably going to start watching her fights. Even though she lost, it was still a win for her. But I felt like, Serrano, again, just controlled the fight, dictated the whole pace of that fight. Maybe she took a couple rounds off, but it was maybe more just to load up on some power. I feel like if she dials in on that power and, tightens up that defense, come on, who can beat her? You know what I mean? Yeah. So, what do you guys think? What'd you guys see?
Yeah, I feel like Serrano, she was the powerhouse in that fight. I feel like Sarah, she did what she had to do to make it go the distance. But, she didn't really have much power to kind of get any respect from Amanda. Amanda still came forward and didn't show much respect for her. And I think that was probably one of the factors was the lack of power from Sarah. But nothing against Sarah. I think she did a great job at kind of, staying in the fight.
Yeah, lack of power, lack of experience. Like you said, Amanda just dictated the fight. She did, she was in command the whole time. Yeah. So a good win for Serrano. Absolutely. Yeah. And then lastly, guys, we come to the exciting one that woke me up, actually. The juggernaut, Joyce. He put on a spectacular performance, knocking out Joseph Parker in the 11th round, guys. Juggernaut is for real.
Yeah.
Amazing stamina.
Yeah.
That Chaz.
Oh, watching that fight, I was kind of just wasn't really sure, where that fight, the direction the fight was going to go. Watching it just seemed like Joyce, he just had kind of a little more youth in him. He just seemed a little more like he had the better feet underneath him. He seemed a little fresher throughout the entire fight.
Amazing,
and it just over time, it caught up to Parker. They still went 11 rounds together. That's you got to respect that. They're big dudes.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of impressed. And then that knockdown, man, Parker, he went down faster than a plate of Alabama barbecue.
That
man.
left hook, heck yeah, man. Right, man. And like we said last week, right? The Juggernaut just keeps, he's a straight up boxer, but the guy is busy. And the pressure he puts on is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's consistent.
Yeah. And then I noticed with that knockout too, Joseph Parker was coming forward and leaning in, and that's when Joyce landed that shot. And a lot of times when you meet force with force, you guys know the outcome.
Double impact,
so it was a double impact shot, dude, and he had no chance. You know what I mean? Especially with that bone density. I mean, come on, how are you going to survive? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But good win.
Yeah, fantastic
Happy for
win.
him. Look forward to seeing him again.
Exactly. We all look forward. He's part of the top four heavyweights. In my opinion.
Just made the heavyweight division seem a little more exciting.
You can't walk through that guy. That's for sure.
Right.
You know
Exactly.
what I mean?
You better be ready to go 12 rounds of hell. Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good job for Joyce. Congratulations on that big victory. All right, guys. Moving on. Well, with Shakur Stevenson now heading his way to the lightweight division, the 135-pound division, which was a fire division, even before Stevenson entrance to it. My question to you guys is this: Stevenson being so good, such a finesse boxer, did he just take out the air out of the 135-pound division, bro? Because I'm gonna be making him the favorite against anyone. What do you think?
You know what? It's hard to say because, I have never seen Shakur get touched. I don't know how he reacts to a crazy shot, that hurts him. Once I see that, then I can somewhat, see a weakness in him. But right now, everything's on the A side, So if anything in that division, I still see him as a favorite just for the fact that, for me right now, he's somewhat invincible. You know what I mean? And as soon as I see some type of
chinks in the armor
decline or whatever, then I might, say, hey, this is an open division. But right now, dude, I see it as Shakur's division.
Yeah.
What do you think, Bad Chaz?
I don't know, man. That's so hard. That's such a competitive division. It's one of my favorite divisions to watch, and they just made it just even more special. You had all these guys anticipating fighting. You got Davis and Garcia. Trying to make arrangements for something, and the other guys as well. And then you just added Shakur to the list. It's just it just changed the name of the game. So I don't really know what to expect. It's just he's a threat. He's just a threat.
Yeah, a big threat. Because my thing was with those other fights that you mentioned, like Garcia Tank. Haney versus those other guys, you'd be like, oh, it's 50-50. This guy could win because of this and that. But then you got Stevenson. It's like, oh, man.
It's just who's the A side? How do we?
You don't know what to think, man, because
Shakur's gonna win.
Yeah.
Right. So for me, in my opinion, I think he took out a little bit of the air out of the division. But hey, it's the other guy's opportunity to show him, hey, don't come in thinking that you're gonna just come over and rule the division.
Right.
We got some resistance for you, which I hope we will see, him in firefights.
But I want to say Ryan Garcia said he was going up to 140, so I don't know if he'll be around for Shakur.
Yeah. Well, yeah, his last fight was almost at 140. Yeah. It was like 139, some weird.
But any fight that Shakur fights with any of those big names, that's worthy of a pay-per-view for sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's going to be big money, even if it's not for a bout. It's going to be a must watch.
Yeah,
man.
don't get me wrong. I still want to see it. I'm still excited. But it's like, man.
They might have to take a back seat to Shakur now.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, we shall wait and see, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's going to be one of those guys that values belts. He's not going to be.
Right.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
I think in his post interview, he's like, hey, let's make Haney fight.
Yeah.
Which,
he was
all the belts.
He was on the Olympics. You know what I mean? He's the full package.
Yeah. So we look forward to welcoming Shakur Stevenson to the lightweight division, man. So we'll see how that pans out. Very well, guys. All right, guys. Well, it's time for the next segment, a new segment that I like to call Welcome to Area 50.
Damn!
That's right, where we're going to present you guys with the most spectacular KTFOs. You know what that stands for?
Knock the fuck out.
That's right. That's right. Oh, man. So, you know what? Who wants to go first? Who wants to present their KTFO?
I'll let you go first, man.
All right. You know what? I'm going to take, it actually happened on Halloween, I think 2 seasons ago. Maybe you know where I'm going with this. So it was a little spooky. I had my nieces over, you know, they never really watched boxing. And I'm like, oh, you guys got to watch this fight. You got to watch this fight. Oh, well, who is it? You know, and I'm like, oh, it's Tank Davis. And they're like, they don't know who that is. And I'm like, just watch the fight. Make sure you pay attention. You know, they're all eating their candy. And I got them all tuned in. So it was Gervonta Tank Davis versus Leo Santa Cruz.
There you go,
man. Yep. And I mean, they had him watching that fight. And then finally he gets him in the corner. And I think he landed an uppercut on Leo Santa Cruz. And I mean, he just planted him on the canvas. And there was no like response, reaction. And it was just like one of those knockouts where you're just like, wow, that was intense.
Yeah.
And I think I just turned them into boxing fans. So I mean, it was a special night. Had the family over. We had pizza and candy and
Hopefully
stuff.
nobody choked on their candy, man.
Nah.
Right.
And then you know, I got a second one too that was really entertaining. Was Oscar Valdez versus Berchelt.
Ooh,
Oh,
another
yeah.
good one.
Yeah,
that was a really good one to watch right there. You know, you had Berchelt kind of coming towards him, and you had Valdez, you know, just kind of, it looked like he was working on just coming under, and then just eventually landing that left hook. And I mean, whenever he landed it.
Oh,
and
you heard that
boy,
impact, right, too?
Man, he just got knocked the fuck out. Like, he wasn't getting up, and it was just like, man, like, we just supported this, like, and I, you know, you kind of feel bad, you know, you hope that the guy's okay, because I mean, you don't see those kind of knockouts all the time, and when they do, man, it's just like, I hope that this guy just can get up, you know what I mean?
But of course, man.
Yeah, those were my two recent favorite
KTFOs.
knockouts,
They were
man.
very good ones. Thank you for sharing those.
Yeah.
Neighborhood hero Ryan Rios, what's your KTFO?
You know what? I'll go with Seniesa, Estrada and Amanda Adkins. And,
Oh, okay.
And this is kind of a weird one because,
weird? All right.
yeah, weird's always, you know, nice, I guess. But this one right here, just from the start, you know, you see Adkins in the corner and you see her just kind of looking a little ginger, you know what I mean? And she had mom on her trunks. And so right away I'm thinking like, God, this looks like a soccer mom, you know what I mean? Like, it looks like they found her like at Starbucks buying cake pops for all the kids or something, you know what I mean? And so, you know, the bell rings and Seniesa just like runs up to her and just gives her like 3 or 4 blows to the face and just knocks her out unconscious, man. The girl didn't have no defense, didn't try to move, didn't try to even throw a punch back.
Out cold.
But she was out cold. And I told you guys she had mom on the front of her trunks. And when the camera angle turned, everybody just sees wow on the trunks. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then to make things worse, you start hearing like commentators and you start seeing comments and they're like saying, you know, like just, you know, jabs at her again after she's knocked out, saying, you know what, I think Adkins was robbed. The ref stopped it too early. Or, you know, she lied on her job application. You know what I mean? But that fight right there was just totally uncalled for.
Yeah.
And you can get
Big
somebody hurt
mismatch.
like that. And man, it was just, it was pretty brutal, man.
Yeah, I don't even think they made it through the first minute.
It was 7 seconds.
7 seconds, bro.
Yeah.
That's like a record.
Yeah.
Man,
And the
it was pretty
female
bad.
boxers, that should be a record.
Stick to buying cake pops,
Right.
you know, for the kids. You know what I mean? Don't try that again, for sure.
That was a fast KTFO for sure, man.
What about you, Coach Steve? What's your
Coach,
favorite?
well,
man?
you know what? I'm gonna take it back to 1991, man.
Man, old
Ooh,
school.
Yeah, old school. 1991, we had the fighter by the name of Tommy the Duke Morrison.
Yes.
Take on Merciless Ray Mercer. You guys may know Tommy Duke Morrison from as Tommy Gun from
Yeah.
Rocky V, right?
Oh, okay.
So yeah, he was actually a real boxer,
Yeah.
you know, and he was undefeated, scoring first round knockouts, looking like the real deal, right?
Yeah.
He met Ray Mercer. Ray Mercer had that chin, a granite chin. So for the first 4 rounds, Tommy the Duke Morrison was just wailing on him, combos on him, just. And I remember as a kid, like, oh my God, he's gonna win, you know. And come the 5th round, Mercer turns him into the corner and just unleashes a barrage of like 8 to 10 punches, bro. Unanswered. Poor Tommy Morrison is KTFO'd. He's like looking like in La La Land. and just taking blows. And he's taking so much blows that the blows are keeping him up. And he can't hit the ground, bro, because he keeps hitting them. You know what I'm saying? So until Ray Mercer stopped is when he finally, hit the damn canvas.
Gravity didn't take its course.
Yeah, no, right? I'm like, damn, that referee, was a little late on getting there, man. But yeah, poor Morrison, man, he suffered a big, brutal KTFO, man. And I still remember that to this day, man.
Yeah, I remember that too. And man, he was never the same after that.
Never the same. Nope. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, man. Yeah. So that concludes our podcast, guys. Any shout outs that we want to make? Actually, we do, right? We want to make a shout out to our new friends out there, Bad Boy Visuals.
You know what? I got to chat with them, yesterday, a little bit today, and they're just doing good things in the community, good things for boxers. They're also selling merch, which goes fast. I've even tried to buy stuff and it's already gone. You know what I mean? So I just like what they're doing. They have a fan-friendly page and you can follow them on Instagram. We can send you, the information. But just good guys. Hopefully, we get to, talk to them soon again.
Yeah, cool, man.
All right. Any shout outs here?
Yeah, you know what? Just want to say thank you to Benavidez Senior, Benavidez Camp.
Yes, we do.
Shout out to those guys.
100%.
That was awesome of them.
That was fantastic, man.
Yeah. Thank you, Senior.
Yeah.
That was awesome, man. You made my day.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure, man. You're going to make a lot of people's day. That was a great story, man.
Yeah, I just want to continue to thank our viewers, our helpers, our brother Rob, our camera guy Liam, everyone that helps us out. We greatly appreciate you guys. Remember, guys, to subscribe, hit the like. It helps us grow the channel. Okay, guys? Thank you so much. And with that said, I am Coach D, neighborhood hero Ryan Rios, Bad Chaz, and we're out, guys.